For 30 days straight, my wife turned her back to me every night. No fights, no tears, no shouting matches. Just quiet, deliberate distance disguised as tiredness. "I'm exhausted," she'd murmur. "Maybe tomorrow." But tomorrow always arrived wearing the same excuse. At first, I told myself it was stress. Her workload had doubled lately, and I wanted to be patient, supportive. I brewed her morning coffee, slipped notes into her purse, even made dinner more often. I kept trying to remind her she wasn't alone. But it didn't matter. Every gesture fell into silence. The distance between us wasn't accidental. It was methodical. Like she was slowly drawing a curtain between two lives that no longer overlapped. One night, I reached out under the blanket and brushed her arm. She flinched. Actually flinched. "Please," she whispered, "not tonight." That moment burned through me. I stared at the ceiling for hours, listening to her shallow breaths beside me. It felt like lying next to a stranger who happened to wear my wife's face. After that, I stopped trying. I convinced myself that giving her space was the mature thing to do, but deep down, I knew it was fear. Fear of hearing the truth that had already begun whispering through the cracks. Weeks went by. We lived like polite roommates, sharing a roof, not a marriage. She smiled less, avoided my eyes, and started working late more often. Her phone was always face down. Her laptop snapped shut the moment I walked in. I told myself I was imagining things. That love required trust. But even trust has a voice, and mine had started screaming. One Thursday, she came home around midnight. She smelled faintly of perfume, expensive, heavy, and definitely not hers. She kicked off her heels, saw me on the couch, and said flatly, "You're still up." "You said you'd be home by 8, I replied. "There's a meeting," she muttered, heading straight for the kitchen. "A meeting that lasts 4 hours?" Her jaw tightened. "Please don't start." "I'm not starting. I'm asking." "I'm tired, Mark. Can we not do this?" She walked off with her drink, leaving me alone with the sound of ice tapping against glass. That night, for the first time, I checked her location app. My stomach twisted when I saw it. She hadn't been at her office. She'd been at a small hotel downtown. I stared at the screen, trying to explain it away. Maybe a client meeting. Maybe she just needed space. Maybe. But maybe doesn't quiet the kind of silence that follows betrayal. The next day, I said nothing. I went to work, came home, smiled when she smiled. I watched her move around the kitchen like nothing was wrong, humming softly as she chopped vegetables. Her wedding ring flashed under the light, and something in me cracked a little more. That weekend, she said she had errands. 10 minutes after she left, I followed. My hands shook the whole drive. She went straight to the same hotel. 20 minutes later, a tall man came out to meet her, confident, well-dressed. He held the door open, and she smiled at him. That smile. The one that used to be mine. The sight hollowed me. I sat there for almost an hour, watching the door, waiting for her to reappear. I wanted to storm in, to confront, to demand, but rage wouldn't give me truth. So I waited. That night, she came home early, cheerful even. She kissed my cheek and said, "I missed you today." "Did you?" I asked. A tiny pause, barely a heartbeat then. Of course I did. It was that pause that told me everything I needed to know. The following days were torture. I played along, smiled when she spoke, nodded when she laughed. But every touch felt rehearsed. Every word was a lie wearing love's face. Eventually, I started avoiding her too. If she wanted distance, I'd give her miles. Then came the night everything shattered. She left her phone charging in the kitchen while she showered. I stared at it for minutes, arguing with myself. But curiosity was just honesty in disguise. I already knew. I unlocked it. There they were. Messages. Dozens. "I can't stop thinking about you. He's starting to suspect. Next weekend. Same place." The words didn't even hurt. They just clarified everything. When she came out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, she froze at the sight of me sitting at the table with her phone in hand. "Mark, what are you doing?" I didn't shout. "Reading." Her face drained of color. You went through my phone. Should I have needed to? She went silent. The refrigerator hummed softly in the background. It's not what you think, she whispered. Then what is it? Tears filled her eyes. I didn't mean for this to happen. I was lonely. You were distant, and… Don't, I said quietly. Don't make me the reason you cheated. She covered her face, sobbing. I'm sorry. I just wanted to feel wanted again. I looked at her, the woman I once imagined spending forever with, and realized I didn't know her at all. Her crying used to undo me. Now it just echoed through the emptiness she'd created. I believed you, I said softly. Every time you said you were busy. Every time you turned away. I was wrong, she whispered. Please. Let's fix this. I shook my head. You can't fix what you've already replaced. I left before she could reply. No yelling. No scene. Just silence. I didn't even take my keys. I just needed air. Outside, the night was cold and quiet. The city lights blurred through the sting in my eyes. I leaned against my car, breathing hard, feeling something inside me dissolve. When I finally returned home hours later, she was gone. Her clothes, her shoes, her toothbrush, everything. Only her scent lingered in the air, faint and haunting. Weeks passed before I stopped expecting her name to light up my phone. Months before I could sleep without hearing her voice in my head. But something in me changed permanently. I learned that love doesn't always die in one blow. Sometimes it erodes, quietly, slowly, through neglect, excuses, and lies. So now, when someone says, I'm just busy, I smile and nod. Because I've learned that sometimes, busy really means they've already left you. You just haven't realized it yet.